in this one, guys, going to record in pro. In this one, guys, I'm really going to run through kind of 5 techniques that have got some real life examples from some real organizations out there doing stuff. So I'm just going to share my screen, and this is not going to be death by a slideshow, Fano, trust me on this one. And like Simon said, any questions, I will be pausing at the end to see if there's any kind of questions that have been dropped down into the Q&A. So I'm just going to go through these. So Facebook product pages, TikTok for social services, Spotify playlist, Google business profile, and Google ads. Now, I do know on this webinar, Simon, if I ask a question to somebody out there, they're unable to kind of respond. Is that right? Or would they be able to like answer in the chat or anything like that? Or
okay, it's up to you, Nick. If you want people to answer in the chat, go right ahead.
I think we'll jump straight down to the Google My Business profile, the Google Business Profile. Reason being, the top 3 is really just me kind of explaining what this is and then showing you guys some kind of like real life examples. So let's just give this a go anyway. Hey, Google Business Profile. Put a 1 in the chat if you can, if you know what this thing is, the Google Business Profile. Simon, that includes yourself. Do you have any idea what this thing is?
I do, yes.
He does, exactly right. Okay, get you to do the presentation. So, an often overlooked piece of tech that is free to set up, free to get going, and doesn't have any kind of ongoing costs. So I assume that ANCAD's already got this all set up, Simon. You got it like firing on all cylinders. It's doing exactly what you want it to do.
Well, we could always do better.
Sorry, Simon, I'm putting you in the on the spot here. So we got a chat come through. Yep, someone said number 1. All right, so they know what that is. Okay, can I get everyone, if you're able to, if you're watching this on a desktop, could pull out your phone, and I actually want you to type in your charitable trust on Google. So you got to go to your browser. Okay, type in your charitable trust, your whatever you are, Marae, charitable trust, nonprofit, NGO. All those nice words, type it into Google, and I want you to see if you've got your Google business profile set up. And if you're able to, just drop a 1 in the chat as well that you've actually got it set up. It goes for you too, Simon. You've got to do some work. So as you guys are doing that, let's just have a look at what's happened here, right? So the user, me, I've typed in homeless charity into my Google browser, and up comes some options, right? So first of all, there's some ads that go up the top. We're not going to talk about those ads just right now, but there's a couple of things that's coming up here, right? So it's Google's telling me, hey, there's 3 that are just like around the corner from me. One's Youthline, one's Island Child Charitable Trust New Zealand. They're actually in Glen Innes, Point England, out East Auckland. Amazing charity. Go look those guys up. And there's also DePaul House, Housing and Family Support Services. So looking up the top, I'm looking for a homeless charity. Boom. I've gone down here and I've clicked on DePaul House, and on the right-hand side, I've depicted the fact that there's this little profile that's come up. So for those that have got this set up, I'm just going to see if we've got any more chats up there. I can't actually see them.
Nick, just to interrupt, it may be that people can't, the chat function may not be working for people on this webinar.
That's okay. That's okay.
Them to put 1 in the Q&A, you can ask them to do that when you're ready.
Kate boy. What I want you guys to do is just to have a look to see, 1, if you have pictures, maybe of an event that you guys have done, perhaps the outside of your building, perhaps some of the staff, any kind of pictures that you've got going on inside this Google business profile. Simon, have you got any?
Good question. We probably do, but I'm not too familiar with that, Nick.
Not too familiar. Okay. Second thing I want you guys to do is, are there any reviews, right? So Island Child Charitable Trust has got 6 reviews. DePaul House has got 27 reviews. I want to see if you guys have got any reviews on your business profile. And bearing in mind, we haven't even gone to your beautiful looking website. We haven't even gone to the amazing social media posts that you have on your Facebook page or your Instagram. We haven't even looked at anything like that. We're not even at that phase yet. We're really just making an informed decision, or we're really just doing our research at this stage about you and your organization right from just this profile here. So I hope you guys can kind of see the power of this thing here. So, homeless charity, boom. So photos, do we have any reviews? And the next thing I want to have a look at, so I'm going to go to the next screen. This is what it looks like when we kind of blow those photos up. Are there any questions? So as you can see from this organization here, we've got a couple of questions. Can a family, mum and dad, seek help from DePaul House, or is it only for a single parents? That was asked by somebody, and Gillian Garrett has answered this question. So I'm going to take a step back, right? I'm going to take a bit of a step back, because what this little profile is, for those that don't know, I know there's some people in here probably understand what this thing is, and you might have somebody managing it for you. This is a social media platform. It's a micro website. It's got all of your phone number, your website, your reviews, okay, for people that are talking about you, that are happy with your service. But it's also going to have some reviews on there with people that are unhappy with your service. And as my dad would say, you can't please everybody. But what this thing can do is it'll tell me how you've dealt with those unhappy customers. So if you've just left them, and someone said, I used the service, it was this, that, the other, I didn't like the person at the front desk, it'll also show me how you've responded back to that disgruntled customer. Yeah. And the other thing as well that's very important is that people can ask you questions, ask you specific questions. So this is quite a specific question here. Can a family, right, get involved with this? Is it only for a single day? And it doesn't look like DePaul House has actually answered this, has answered the question to this person. Gillian Garrett, whoever that person is not the owner of is not a worker at this organization, from what I can tell. So customer services portal, micro website, social media, reviews, portal as well. And it's something that I said gets overlooked quite a few times, that is free and easy to set up, and you just need somebody kind of that knows what they're doing to run it. Any questions on that one before we move on?
So folks, if you wanted to put any questions in, feel free to do so in the Q&A. I'm just looking at mine on my phone. Nick, people might not have theirs with them at the moment. We do have a lot of photos. A lot of them quite old, so I'm not sure if we can do anything about removing old ones or anything like that. Yeah. We do have a map.
You do have a map? Okay, so do you have any reviews?
Yes, we do have reviews. Yeah, we'd like to increase the number of reviews that we have.
Has anyone responded to the review saying, thank you very much, Sam, thank you very much, Sally, appreciate your time, da, 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 da.
Okay, so I'm just clicking on the reviews there, and don't think we have any questions per se to respond to, just ratings.
Oh, so on the reviews, have you got, has somebody, like, in here we've got a great charity helping families, this place is amazing. Are there any responses back to those reviews saying thank you for your kind words?
No, good point.
Okay. Where can we find
some? I think there's the like, we use the like.
Okay. All right. So yeah, just best practice, right? So restaurants know this really, really well. You know, whenever you get some sort of review from a restaurant, they're real quick coming back. Thank you so much. I'd love to have you back again. It's that type of thing. It applies also to nonprofits and charitable trusts as well. It's just kind of like, yeah, that courtesy coming back to them. We've got Hannah McAvoy, if I pronounce that correctly. Where can we find the ask a question button? So I can't see your screen, Hannah. If you just scroll down a little bit more, there should be ask a question there if you're on your phone. Okay, so if you're on your phone, scroll down there. It should say ask a question, then you can type in your question in there. Robin Driver, we have 3 questions, but no one has responded back. There doesn't seem to be any date for the questions. Okay. All right. Yep. So this is very common, Robin. There is no mechanism in your organization to notify someone that someone has left a question. Okay. So, you know, if someone calls up, asks you a question, the mechanism is someone's going to answer the phone. On this thing, you at the moment have not got it set up, and I can't answer you why you don't have it set up. That is, kind of requires a longer discussion, but yeah, there is no mechanism to tell anybody in the organization that you've got a question there. Carry on. Any other questions? Just kind of drop them down there as well. That is our Google business profile. That definitely should be used. Yeah. I think everybody knows what these are. If you don't know what they are, can you put a 1 in the chat instead of everyone saying I know what they are? But if you do know what these are and you are a charitable trust, obviously here's an example, right? Donate to kids charity. I'm thinking about donating to a charity. Perhaps I want to type this into Google, or it could be volunteer, or it could be anything like that, right? You have the possibility to run these ads. So obviously World Vision know what they are. Bernardo's know what they are. Save the Children. All the big ones know what they are. Hold on, I'm just going to come to this question, if that's okay. What does Google Business Profile help with? Awareness, engagement, all of the above, right? So it's when someone's looking to know more about the cause that you guys are doing. So you could be helping with animals, environment, trees, saving the whales. Someone's in that research mode to type that in, boom, awareness. If someone already knows who you are, they could type that into the Google, and there is engagement. Or if someone is thinking about getting involved with your charity, type that into Google. They can look at the reviews. They can see how responsive you are to the questions. They can look at your photos. Very similar to how you would position your social media channel is how you should treat your Google Business Profile. Google Ads, pretty self-explanatory. These are search ads. Donate NZ charity. Again, these are just some search ads. And if you are a registered charitable trust, you could be eligible for a $10,000 US a month Google Ads credits. Okay. So these things here cost money. If I was to click on Kids Can on this one here, every time someone clicks on that, it could be between, say, $1 to, say, $4 per click. And for those that are not familiar with these ads, you could be eligible for a $10,000 a month US dollar. That's about 16,000 New Zealand dollars per month ad grant to use, so that you can increase your awareness. You can find volunteers. There's many different ways these ads can be used. You're familiar with these ones, Simon? I'm sure we've had this conversation before.
Yes, we have had that, and I've made the start on that. So yeah, it's all been good.
Good luck. Good luck. They're not guaranteed. So the Google Ad Grant, type that into Google Ad Grant non-profit. It's not guaranteed that you're going to get to $10,000, but I wish you guys luck. Any questions on that one? Just gonna take a break just for a second. Nope. No. Okay, cool. Everybody knows what they are. That's why. I suppose everybody knows what they are. I will say one thing. Unless you're one of these really big ones, it's very difficult to spend that $10,000. But there are ways that the ads can be structured so that you're spending a good amount. And when I mean a good amount, if you're a nationwide organization, a good amount would say be about 3,000 to 4,000. We'd be pretty happy with 3,000 to 4,000 Google Ads clicks per month. If you're a small one, like the Charitable Trust Children's Island one that I kind of mentioned before, you'd be lucky to get away with, say, $500 to $1,000 a month. Right, everybody knows what Facebook is. Anyone here, or yourself, Simon, ever thought about using Facebook product pages for a charitable trust? Or does anyone even know what the product pages are?
I've had a look at them, Nick. Definitely been considering them. We haven't done anything with them yet.
So they're typically like this image I have here, right? Like, so, you know, you're selling clothes, you're selling t-shirts, you're selling mugs, you're selling anything like that. Definitely it's a no-brainer if you've got like an e-com store. What we've found though, and it's pretty cool, what World Vision have done. What they've done is they've actually created a shop not to sell physical products. What they've actually done is they've created shops where they have packaged up their sponsorships, right? So we've got fund a back to school pack, we've got kit out an emergency shelter, buy an energy saving stove, and if we were to go over another click, this is what the store would look like. And why I think this is quite genius is that, you know, if I was to click on this button up here, view on website, it goes directly through to the landing page that they've actually got that set up anyway. So if you're the type of organization that's got some products like, you know, buy a tree for $5 and you've got to buy 10 trees for $25, what you can do is you can, on your Facebook page, you can create these products so that someone, and you can share these, you can run ads to these, there's a whole bunch of other stuff you can do, but you can just set them up on your Facebook page, you can share them through all your audiences. So the alternative to this would be, let's create a Facebook or an Instagram or whatever, and we just say, hey, click this link to go through to our, basically to go through to this, right? That would be the obvious thing to do. But what I thought was quite cool, World Vision to do is kind of flip it around and just go, let's forget about the link, let's just create this page here. Hold on, guys, I've got another Q&A in here. Kala matua, tēnā koe. Social media reels and stories. Do you have any advice on best program app to use to pull these together, please? We are a large sports club looking at ways to engage with our rangatahi better, especially via Instagram. Massive question. So I use CapCut. We use CapCut. My business partner uses Adobe Photoshop. My friends who use, who's actually a videographer, uses something completely different, right? So I think the question is, do you have any advice on best program? Best program? Yeah. Best is a word that's kind of, you know, depends on the user. I use CapCut. Is it the best? It's the best for me. It's free. I like that. I'm not a videographer. I'm not an editor. It does what I want it to do. And I kind of get the results that I'm after. Color, I will say one thing though, and I suppose I'm generalizing here, but when I've seen a lot of the rangatahi on TikToks and the rangatahi doing stuff on Instagram, and I see how young they are and the kind of the videos that they're creating, especially in sports, I'm just blown away. So I'm like, maybe we need to talk more with our rangatahi about the apps that they're using, because they're just using their phone to produce these apps. I've given you a couple there. CapCut, Photoshop.
How do you spell that one that you use for people?
CapCut, C-A-P-C-U-T.
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 Okay, thank you.
Tēnā koe, Carla. No, good question. Good question. Like, ka pai. Okay, so you know, the obvious thing is go away and create yourself a thing. But look, the strategy can work for you. I mean, I think we'd need to think about productizing offers. Creating the product store, that's like a 10-minute job. You can just go into your Facebook page, click on the product store, add product link to your website. But I think before you even do that, it would be helpful if you have some of these kind of productized offers already, where someone can donate $5, $20, $30 to the cause that you're wanting to to your cause. But you know, and then the next one would be, well, how would you promote that product page? Would you run videos? Would you do stories like what Carla's talking about? Would you, there's just email, you could put in your email newsletter. There's, you know, many different ways, but how would you guys do it? Just gonna take a pause for any other Q&A, Whānau. Still at 51. No one's fallen asleep, that's good.
We're all good. No questions at the stage, Nick.
Ka pai. All right. Yeah. Put a 1 in the chat if your charitable trust is using TikTok.
Folks, if you the Q&A, if you want to do that, just
Q&A.
if you use TikTok.
Yep. Using TikTok specifically for your charitable organization. Oh, I got 2. Candace Robbins Goodman, Kapai, Nicole Vasquez. If I pronounce that wrong, Arahamai. Awesome, Candace. Yeah, so I came across this organization. So we do a lot with, we're kind of 50-50. We do a lot with our Te Māori space, our hauhora, runanga, few marae, not too many. And then we, we've got like organizations as well that Sunil, awesome. Okay, so Carla's talked about rangatahi, right? This platform, I'm probably telling you stuff you already know anyway. This is the platform. So I've got a friend who runs a charitable trust, and his audience is rangatahi, and I'm telling him, you need to be on here, right? And he's just like, nah. And I'm like, well, this is where all the rangatahi are. So, te runanga o ngai, let me get this right. Te runanga o ngai tamawhariuia, they are a very small Māori health services organization in and around the Bay of Plenty area. And their main goal is to kind of uplift local whānau to cook better food, right? Food prices are going through the roof. They've got all these amazing ways that they can help whānau to cook a kai. And this wahine is amazing. I don't know what her name is. If you guys know what her name is, let me know. But she just has these very simple recipes for her organization. So I can't show you any of them, but the one I really like was like this homemade pie one. Kura lunches, so school lunches, and I think she only spent like about $50 to $100. Right, and she walks you through what some of those kura lunches are going to be. 121,000 views. I took this screenshot probably like 2 months ago. I'd say it's probably way past 150,000 views right now. But like 2,000 views, 1,300 views here. Pawaka kai. So yeah, food for your lunchbox. $44.91 for the week. Where's another huge one? There's a couple of big ones around here somewhere. Yeah, look at this one. Kura lunches on a budget, 35K. Right, 35,000 people have viewed this. So these numbers are huge. These numbers are ginormous. And yeah, TikTok's getting more and more people on there. So I'm not quite sure how easy it's going to be continually getting these big views. But what part of your calls, so this is the question I've got for you guys, what part of your calls can you create educational video for? So what they've done, they haven't gone out there and gone, we're a kaupapa Māori hauhora, we do vaccinations, we do, they didn't talk about the thing that they do. They talk about the end goal that they want some of their whānau to do, and they just really focused on cooking healthy kai for your whānau. Because I suppose kids get healthy kai, less kids are going to come in and see them for any kind of ailments and treatments. Yeah. So, what part of your course can you create educational video on? This is a question for you guys. What don't people? Is that grammatically correct? What don't people know about your course? Yeah, so what do they not know about your cause that you can kind of educate them on? 2, what are things that are untrue about your cause? And 3, who was positively affected by your cause? We've got a Q&A up here. What's your thoughts on using LinkedIn for organizations, promotion, and profile? Pai te rā pātai, Clint. So, we've all got these little silos. We've got the rangatahi platform. We've got the people my age, 40s and kind of platform over here, and you got your Instagrams and you got your LinkedIn, right? So LinkedIn is all business, right? That's all the business and the governments. That's where all the LinkedIn stuff goes. So I suppose a good one would be like, and this is where you'd want to get into your audiences and the voice of your organization to those audiences. You probably wouldn't put this kukakai with me on LinkedIn. Yeah, you might want to do more things that are targeted towards, say, funders, targeted towards local businesses, targeted towards maybe sponsors, if that's what you're going for. Ka pai? Awesome, mahi. Go give them a follow. If you guys are on TikTok, tamawhariuia, give them a follow. They deserve more followers out there because I think they're doing amazing work. Simon, you still with us?
Still here, Nick?
No, you're still here. I've just lost your screen as well. Are you on TikTok, Simon? Be honest.
Not through our organization, no. But we are on some of the other channels, Instagram and Facebook and LinkedIn.
Yeah. Any wishes to go on TikTok in the near future? Do some dancing or anything like that? Or
no.
Couple. Okay. Hey, look, you know, I didn't think this would be. I didn't even think about this one, but when I saw it, I was like, that is such a good idea. So Water Aid, huge water organization over, well, they're global. This is actually the UK branch of this organization. And I can't remember how I found them, but when I saw it, I thought, cool way to do it. So Spotify's, how many millions of users on Spotify? I don't know. Music, lots of us love music. Pretty obvious. What have they done? So their cause is obviously to reduce water and save, you know, water conservation. So they came up with this idea of saying, well, how about everyone's taking these 4-minute showers? How about we create a playlist called 4-minute shower hits? And all of these songs, I look at it on the right-hand side over here, they're all like 4 minutes long. 3 lines, final countdown. I just thought this was pretty cool. I thought, you know, if you could do this, how many likes they got? 334 likes. If you don't know, you can create playlists on Spotify, and then you can kind of push that list out to people, and then people can like it and they can come back to your playlist. It's just another way to engage with your audience, you know, outside of your social media, your LinkedIn's, your Google business profiles, your email marketing, and it's free, right? It's free. So this one I think will be a little bit difficult to execute. If you're musically inclined, I think it might be quite easy for you. But I reckon have some fun. I think the cheesier the better. You know, it'd be very difficult to kind of link your mahi, your causes in with some songs. But I think some people out there that are into their music, what songs share similar themes to what you've got, and what songs connect with the outcome of your organization. So hats off to these guys. 4-minute shower hits. I could just see like maybe mum or dad saying, you got 4 minutes, and putting it on the phone, and maybe leaving the phone next to the bathroom and say, you've got 4 minutes. The final countdown's on. As soon as that's finished, you're out of there. But yeah, I thought that was a really cool one. So we kind of take a look at them. We've got the Google business profile. We've got the Google ads, which you can get $10,000 worth of free money, people. Free money out there. You can go and spend it on advertising. We've got the Spotify. We got the Facebook product page, where you can literally just create a product around one of your causes that's obviously is monetized. Yeah. That one. Oops. 4-minute showers, and also the TikTok. And it's not necessarily going on there and dancing, if that's not your thing. It's really coming on here and being educational and being kind of intentional about the outcomes that your organization is striving for, or just educating people about the mahi that you guys do. So those are my 5. I hope you guys have had some value out of me talking through them, and I welcome any questions if anyone's got any.
So go ahead, folks. I'll come back and reappear as well at this time. I'll show myself. There you go. I was always there, Nick. Nick, I'll start it off in terms of video, which is obviously a huge thing nowadays. What would you say in terms of the sort of the raw, quick video, which is often a good way compared to sort of a more formal, pay quite a bit of money and invest in a really, really good formal? One or the other, or both?
They're 2 completely different things, right? So it really comes back to your audiences. So we've all got different audiences, right? So you'll have your your business, like I say, you know, with that LinkedIn type of stuff. That's a different video to your kind of quick 15-second educational reel. That's going to go really good on Instagram, which is very highly polished, right? High definition kind of video. Then you've got your TikTok, which is a little bit more raw. It's a little bit more like, you know, I've got like a bit of a stain on my t-shirt. I've got, you know, my hair's all kind of messed up. That video goes really, really well. I'm not saying just have messy hair and then have stains on your t-shirt. It's going to do really well, but it's less polished. It's much less polished. So the polished, the Instagram crowd, I'd say, are the kind of like 25 to 35s. I'm going to call them millennials, but I know they hate that word, but that's just kind of like the word that everyone's using. Whereas I'm more like the Generation X, right? We're like 45 to like 35. We're all on Facebook. Okay, so they've all got their own different things. So as an example, something like this that you and I are talking about something would go really well on your YouTube and potentially on the LinkedIn. But the short forms, right, the little like kind of nuggets of gold, if there's any in this, that's only going to go for like 25 to 35 seconds. That's really for your TikTok and really for your Instagram. Yeah. And maybe, and like subtitles coming up as well, keeping that a little more engaging. So it's a big question. It's a big question, but I hope that's kind of giving you something.
We've got some questions coming in. So let's go through some of these. And we've got one from Anna just come in. Is there value in going back to answer or respond on Google business profiles in response to very old reviews or questions? Or should we just sort of start fresh with the new reviews?
Well, let's kind of flip it around. I suppose, is there really a right or wrong answer? Yeah, I suppose there is, because let's just say you've gone on to someone's profile and there's just unanswered questions in there. How does that kind of make you feel? I know how it makes me feel, but you know, everyone's different. Some people might be going, oh well, they haven't responded to it. I will always say respond to them. Bad review, 1-star review, 5-star, no comments, 4-star essay. It just shows, it just doesn't leave anything up to chance, right? Depending on who's looking at it, they'll see it and go, oh, this was 3 years ago. They've come and said, hey, answer the question 3 years later, but at least they responded. That's my
there's no reason why we can't just talk to somebody and invite them to put a review there, a good review there.
Absolutely. So reviews shouldn't be just people that we've served. Like, we've got partners, we've got friends that know our organization, we've got accountants, bookkeepers, lawyers, suppliers, right? So they don't necessarily have to always be the one that we've helped, or the thousands of trees that we've kind of planted, right? It's an overall view of who you are as an organization.
Well, kia ora. A question from Amelia. How hard is setting up Google Ads if you haven't done these before? And she says that they've had their 10,000 approved by Google already.
Awesome. Now what? Yeah, that's the big question, right? I've got an educational video that after this, I can send you the link, Simon. And then do you have an email thing? You can like send them out to them?
Absolutely, sure.
Yeah, so I've got an educational video. How hard is it? I've been doing it for 7 years, so it's very easy. For someone who's never done it, it's very difficult. So I've got a video. It's around about 13 minutes long. It comes with a downloadable sheet that you can go through step by step by step by step. And then after you've got it set up, it might work or it might not. So, but at least it might get you kind of familiarizing with the back end and all of the things. So yeah, if you've never done it before, it's very difficult. That's probably the best answer.
Okay, thanks, Nick. From Katrina, what is your view on Facebook ads boosting posts?
I don't do them. I don't do them at all. There's just less control over it. So ads people will always want control over every single cent that has been spent through anything, right? So when we just boost things, could be going to anybody, could be going to people that we don't want to see them. So I think it's a good way to start using, the back end of these platforms, because they've all got this kind of boosting function where you don't really need to think much. You put $20 in, right? Do you boost your stuff, by the way, Simon, or do you actually go in there and do proper ads?
For the most part, we do boost, and we measure our results as well through the insights on Facebook, which is really, really interesting. Got to find the time to do that. So I do that once a month, and we're finding that is effective. But I really would like to look at something else as well.
Yeah. So like I said, it's just a quick way, right? It's just like, I don't have time. I can pretty much click this button, credit cards in there. I can put $10 in and then just leave it, right? Which is fine. So I suppose it's horses for courses. If it's like, I can't have any examples right now because I haven't boosted in a while, but if it's like, it's just, I want everyone in my local neighborhood. I've got an event coming up. Everyone in my local neighborhood, don't care who it is going to be an event down at the school, face painting and bouncy castles and whatever. $100, local community, real small, perfect. If there's some sort of mechanism where you want them to take an action, donate to this, sign up to a volunteer, so you don't want, maybe it's a volunteering to go to plant trees. You don't want that going to 65-year-olds or people who are not in your kind of audience. I'm not saying that 65-year-olds don't want to plant trees, but maybe it's just really after the younger crowd. So you really need to have some sort of control over that. And boosting is just might not get you your return on your investment.
Thanks, Nick. All right, we've got a couple of questions still in the Q&A and a few minutes left to go. So feel free to put a question in, folks, if you do want to ask Nick. We've got one from Flian here, which is, are there any free workshops for people who are unfamiliar with navigating how to optimize Facebook for connecting with their target audiences without paying for ads? Is Facebook good and effective to raise funds?
A lot of information in that question. So the last bit, is Facebook good to raise funds?
Is it effective at raising funds?
Yeah, let's tackle this one, because it's a common question that comes up, like, is this platform good for X? Is this thing good for Y? Yeah. And the short answer is they all work, right? Flyer drops work. Billboard things work, TV works, radio works, nothing's dead, right? It all works. So I'm going to just answer that one very quickly by saying, yes, Facebook is a good platform for raising funds. Yes, Facebook is a good platform for bringing in volunteers or whatever you want it to do. They all work. The long answer is, you need to sit down with somebody that understands that platform very, very well in order for it to work for you.
Indeed. And Freyan, there's always searching, I guess, videos on YouTube, just typing in something. They're free as well. Thanks for your question.
Absolutely. Yeah, no, YouTube, there's a whole, millions of hours of free education on there. You just need to sit down and watch those videos so you get all the knowledge.
Too many hours. Okay, question from Robin. Here we go. How do you plan out your marketing strategy across the year and across the different platforms?
Okay, we don't do it for the year. That's no, we don't do it for the year. So Robin, was it?
Robin.
Very simple, Robin. You've got your organizational strategy. Yeah, your overarching, this is our North Star, this is where we're going in the next 12 months, 2 years. You've got that. That is rock solid. Your marketing strategy just speaks to that, right? So board and overall strategy is, we need to grow this X thing by 10%. Our volunteers, I'm always using volunteers, but we need to grow our donations, our regular givers, we need to grow that by 10%. We need to work with more schools by 10% in the next quarter. Great. This thing over here, this marketing strategy, just speaks to that. Just go, okay, so we need to understand our audiences. Yeah. So this is not the plan, right? Understand those audiences. We need to understand our brand voice. What is that voice of our organization? What are the strategic goals? 20% here, 10% there. Okay, so what platforms are we going to use in order to achieve those strategies over here, right? Okay, so our schools, well, they're principals, right? So it's going to be a face-to-face, or it's going to be email, right? Okay, great. Rangatahi, okay, I think we've already kind of mentioned, potentially TikTok, potentially this, potentially that. Okay, sweet. So then you kind of map out we like to do 90 days. 90 days, I think a year is like, it's a little, things change. Things change in 90 days as well, right? So 3 months, 90 days, cool. And then you've got a plan to say, what's the week-to-week activity that we can do to achieve our marketing strategy? Yeah, week-to-week activity 1, week 2, week 3, week 4, week 5, and also allow for some changes in that strategy. In that plan as well. And by doing that, you end up with a plan that's actually aligned to something.
Yeah.
Otherwise, you'd be like, we're going to do TikTok this week. Oh, should go get this shiny object? What about that shiny object? So yeah. I hope that kind of answers.
Thanks, Robin, for your question. That's great. We've got one more in the Q&A for this time, and that's from Roy. How to integrate ChatGPT with social media? Will it work?
I think it's working now. I think it's it's going to be, well, it's the now. I do know there's some organizations out there that have already got some sort of thing for you to click a button, children's charity, blah de blah, click button, posts, go through, check them, click another button, credit card number, schedule. That's where we're moving to. That's where we're moving to, and I will say that is very exciting. Exciting that I'll be out of a job. A lot of my colleagues will be out of a job, and I think it's an exciting time because you're going to reduce costs, you're going to reduce time, you're going to impact people quicker, you're going to be able to do all the things that you need to do a lot faster than what you're doing them right now. So yeah, it's definitely exciting for my industry, definitely.
And in fact, we for those of you that may have been here on our last or our very first in the series of a Lunchtime LiiFT with people, we spoke about that very thing, generative AI and ChatGPT, the risks and the opportunities. And for folks, look, happy to send out an email. We've recorded that one as well. It's on the ANCAD YouTube channel for everyone just to have a look at and review that. I think we might have one more question in there just before we wrap up. Just an acknowledgement from awesome information and knowledge, Nick. I feel a workshop coming on. Yes, addressed to me as well. So in-person workshop, I'll say. Yeah, we'll definitely be considering that, Carla, and thanks for your question. So last words, Nick, and then we'll wrap up, I think.
Last words, keep doing the awesome mahi you guys are doing. Don't get too caught up in all of these flashy things that kind of go out there. Look, have a strategy, have a plan, stick to it, and you guys will be sweet. Look, I haven't told you guys too many things that you don't already know about. I suppose what I'd like to do, what I wanted to do in this corridor was just kind of bring some real life examples to it and just kind of get the brain kind of thinking about some of these other platforms, definitely like TikTok and everything like that.
Thank you so much, Nick, for your time and your thoughts. Fantastic. Thanks to everyone for attending this Lunchtime LiiFT Zoom today. We trust you've been informed and inspired and taken something away with you today. I'm sure you have. I'll email everyone the link to a recorded version of this conversation that we've had and Nick's presentation, and a quick link to a short feedback form too, if you wouldn't mind completing this for us. If it's of any benefit to you, as I'm sure it will be, we have coming up on the LiiFT program the topic about Instagram for non-profits, and that's happening on August the 10th at a 1 o'clock to 2 o'clock session. So that if you hit the liift.nz website, you'll get some more detail about that. So look, Kata pai, Nick, really appreciate your time. Thank you again. Enjoy the rest of your day, everyone. I'll go ahead and stop the recording right now and then end the session for all of us. Te nohora, everyone.